A long time ago, there was a machine in the heavens called the Destiny Astrolabe, capable of controlling the fates of mortals. When the goddess NWA saved the world by sealing the sky with a sacred stone, a giant was also born from its remnants. The monster refused to accept his fate and fought against the heavens in order to destroy the Destiny Astrolabe. The celestial armies were able to defeat the giant and scatter his body across the land, where it eventually became Flower Mountain, and the Heartstone gave life to the monkey demon. However, the Destiny Astrolabe later summoned a series of disasters that left Flower Mountain in ruins, and the monkey demon swore to take vengeance on the heavens. The main character, Wukong, arrives at the Immortals Academy, where the headmaster will select individuals worthy of entering heaven and becoming immortal. Instead of attending the ceremony, he steals food from the kitchen, which causes the captain of the guards to miss his meal. The man bullies a servant girl, escalating the situation until he attacks her with his weapon. Luckily, a recent graduate named Wanlian protects her from the devastating blow. This only makes the soldier angrier, and Wanlian is knocked across the room. However, the captain is suddenly kicked by another deity named Azi, who embarrasses him in front of the crowd. Furious, the man orders the guards to attack the girl, but they are quickly tossed aside by Wukong, who grabs the captain and kicks him through the tables. As numerous guards rush into the room and surround him, Wukong summons his weapon from his ear, a staff forged from lava. The soldiers charge at him, but he channels flames through the weapon, creating a massive explosion that sends them flying backward. General Hua of the Celestial Army is soon notified of the disturbance and sends her right-hand man, Tien, to resolve the situation. Wukong smirks at the fallen soldiers, but quickly senses danger as Tien flies in, attacking him with a barrage of daggers. Though Wukong manages to counter the strikes, the sheer number of blades makes it difficult to land a direct hit. Tien then unleashes a storm of daggers that forms a massive tornado, trapping Wukong within a swirling vortex of blades. Cornered with no way out, Wukong slams his staff onto the ground. It begins to grow to an enormous size, eventually crashing into the ceiling. He kicks the massive weapon as it falls toward Tien, shattering the blade storm. Tien dodges, but Wukong grabs the staff and hurls it again, forcing him into the air. Azi calls for them to stop, but Wukong cannot withdraw his attack in time as it hurtles toward her. The staff slams forward, only to be stopped effortlessly with a single finger. However, it is revealed that another man intercepted the blow with one hand while protecting her. He introduces himself as Erlang. Erlang reveals his right arm, imbued with godly power, and punches the massive staff back toward Wukong, shattering it as it flies. Wukong retracts the weapon and leaps into the air, preparing a final attack, but Erlang rushes forward and lands a devastating punch that sends Wukong crashing into the walls, knocking him unconscious. The guards capture Wukong and lock him in a cell, while the headmaster apologizes profusely to General Hua for the incident. Azi soon arrives, protesting that her friend Erlang has also been imprisoned despite only stopping the fight. The general explains that Erlang disobeyed her orders. She had instructed only Tien to resolve the situation. It is revealed that Azi is the general's daughter, though their relationship is strained, as Azi resents her mother's tendency to impose her will on others. Meanwhile, Wukong and Erlang are placed in the same cell. Wukong complains that their earlier fight was unfair, claiming it was 2 against 1, and demands a rematch. When Erlang refuses, Wukong insults his mother, who had been punished by the general for loving a mortal. This enrages Erlang, and just as they are about to clash again, General Hua arrives with Tien. She releases Erlang and orders him to wait for her at the council, while Wukong protests his rival's freedom. Ignoring him, she produces the crown of binding and places it on Wukong's head. As she chants, the crown tightens, causing him unbearable pain until he collapses unconscious. She then gives Azi a scepter capable of controlling the crown and orders her to supervise Wukong at all times. As he loses consciousness, Wukong dreams of his past and realizes that he is the monkey demon created by the Heartstone. A deity once took pity on him, saving his life, but sealing his powers within a human form to protect him from the wrath of the gods. Meanwhile, General Hua lectures Erlang about his attachment to human emotions, which prevents him from opening his third eye, a power that would grant him immense strength. She urges him to forget both his mother and Azi so that he may become a true deity. When Wukong awakens, he finds himself under Axi's watch. He vows to regain his freedom by removing the bindings. Initially, he shouts at her in anger, but when she produces the scepter, he quickly submits, trying to avoid the pain he experienced before. Later, he attends a seminar where the headmaster explains the structure of heaven. They cross a bridge separating the celestial realm from the mortal world, which, he claims, strips away the powers of anyone who falls into its waters. The tour eventually leads to the Destiny Astrolabe, the device that governs all mortal affairs. General Hua addresses the crowd, recounting the history of heaven. She deliberately mentions the destruction of Flower Mountain, intending to test Wukong's true purpose. Hearing her cold, detached account fills him with rage, but before he can act, Ozzy interrupts and openly challenges her mother's beliefs. She argues that heaven is meant to represent justice and questions how destroying someone's home could uphold such an ideal. In response, General Hua declares that all actions are guided by the Destiny Astrolabe, and that it alone defines true justice. After purposely enraging the monkey demon, General Hua confirms that the demon who once attacked the heavens still lives within Wukong and orders Tian to retrieve the Heartstone by killing him. Wukong manages to trick Huanlian, knocking him out and taking his key to open the gates to the council. He leaps onto the Bridge of Destiny, intending to destroy the astrolabe and free all mortals from their predestined fates. However, Erlang intercepts him and warns him about breaking the laws. Drawing his sword, Erlang charges at the monkey demon, stabbing the staff and freezing its fiery power. He throws Wukong to the ground and continues his assault with a flurry of slashes, but the demon manages to dodge each strike. Their battle begins to damage the bridge itself, causing a violent storm to form. Meanwhile, Ozzy realizes something is wrong when she finds Huanlian unconscious in the kitchen with the keys missing. Following General Hua's orders, Tian joins the fight against Wukong, and the two overwhelm him with their combined attacks. Ozzy arrives at the bridge with Huanlian and pleads for them to stop, but Wukong, cornered, slams his staff into the ground and enlarges it, shattering the structure completely. The group falls from the sky alongside the massive weapon and crashes into the mortal realm. They survive the fall and question their surroundings, but Tian soon realizes they have landed on what was once Flower Mountain. As the three continue fighting, they discover that their powers have vanished after passing through the Bridge of Destiny. Their conflict is interrupted when a massive cloud forms above a nearby village, sending the villagers fleeing in terror from the demon about to attack. The cloud monster begins abducting people while draining water from their bodies. Tian spots a child outside, and to his surprise, a woman rushes to shield the boy. He quickly moves to save them, carrying them to safety, but is seized by the cloud demon and pulled toward its core. Before he is consumed, Wukong grabs hold of him, along with the others. Ozzy then fires an ice arrow, an invention of Huanlian's, freezing the creature and forcing it to retreat. The next morning, Wukong awakens to find himself tied up by Ozzy to prevent further conflict. She tells Wukong and Erlang that they must help the villagers, who have suffered greatly and now believe they are deities sent from heaven. The two initially refuse, but after witnessing the villagers' hardships firsthand, they agree to work together to defeat the cloud demon. Tian explains that the creature was once from the heavens, but wandered off and became corrupted by demonic energy from the ruins. It has drained the village of water, causing a devastating drought and preventing crops from growing. They devise a plan to lure and weaken the monster by creating the illusion of a sunset and striking it with ice bombs fired from a large cannon. The villagers arrange red cloth across the fields, and as the sky darkens, the demon reappears above the village. They fire ice arrows into the sky, but this only irritates the creature, causing it to retreat briefly. Tian then throws a torch beneath the red cloth, creating a glowing effect that mimics a sunset, triggering the monster to reveal its true form. As it descends, Wukong loads the cannon and fires directly at its face. The demon freezes and plummets toward the village, where Tian successfully traps it within a cage. The villagers erupt in celebration as rain finally falls after years of drought. That night, the villagers gather to celebrate their victory, but Huanlian senses something is wrong as ice particles begin forming in the air. He spots a mysterious figure emerging from the shadows, surrounded by a dark aura. The stranger suddenly attacks, sending Huanlian crashing into a building as panic spreads among the villagers. The assailant pursues them indoors, conjuring ice weapons and unleashing them upon the crowd. More assassins appear, surrounding Tian as he attempts to escape, and he is struck down by a barrage of ice shards. Sensing danger, Wukong rushes toward the village center. When he and the others enter the building, they are met with a horrifying sight. The villagers have been slaughtered. Erlang arrives shortly after, stunned by the devastation. They find Huanlian barely alive, and he apologizes for failing to protect the people before succumbing to his injuries. As assassins gather outside, Wukong charges at them in fury, determined to avenge his fallen allies. The attackers fire upon him, and Wukong is impaled by countless ice projectiles before collapsing to the ground. General Hua then appears, declaring that their efforts are meaningless against destiny, as the astrolabe had long decreed the villagers' deaths. She commands them to abandon hope, insisting that everything is predestined. Enraged, Wukong screams in defiance, but the general strikes him down with a final blow. Ozzy later awakens in a prison cell alongside Erlang, who has accepted the will of heaven. He tells her they were wrong to defy destiny and attempt to save the villagers. Meanwhile, Wukong is imprisoned in the deepest level, enduring relentless pain yet refusing to die as he waits for Ozzy's return. When she finally visits him, Wukong looks up and smiles at her arrival. Trying to end her friend's suffering, Ozzy tells him that she despises him and that he has lost everything. Flower Mountain will never return, and they cannot win against destiny. Heartbroken and hopeless, Wukong finally gives up on life and slowly turns into dust, leaving behind the Heartstone and the scarf he carries. Ozzy promises that she will finish her friend's mission as she drops the scarf toward Flower Mountain, where it lands in the village below. Erlang brings the Heartstone to the general, and after abandoning all emotion, he opens the third eye on his forehead and gains tremendous power. An elder deity retrieves the scarf that fell from heaven and speaks with the monkey demon in purgatory. Wukong believes he has lost everything, but the old man disagrees. Although Wukong has lost the Heartstone, it has also freed him from his mortal body. Now he must decide whether to accept destiny or defy it with his own heart. Wukong begins lifting the giant staff, a symbol of his power, reigniting it in flames. The massive weapon shatters the ground and rises into the air as buildings collapse around it. The monkey demon emerges from the dust, revealing his true form as the staff sheds its outer shell. He summons the demon cloud he once captured, which carries him into the sky as he charges toward the heavens. Wukong lands outside the celestial kingdom and stares down the gathered deities. He crashes into the building, creating a massive explosion that wipes out the guards and sends the captain crashing to the floor. Declaring himself equal to the heavens, he glares at the celestial warriors. He hurls his staff into their ranks and attacks like a wild beast, tearing through them one by one as he avenges the villagers they allowed to die. At the same time, Ozzy betrays her mother, refusing to accept her tyranny. She strikes at the Destiny Astrolabe, attempting to destroy it. Tien, having survived, joins Wukong, and together they decimate the celestial army, reducing the soldiers to dust. General Hua intervenes, stopping Ozzy by seizing her and striking her with immense force, sending her flying. Wukong rushes forward and catches her as Tien prepares to face the general. Tien launches a barrage of blades, but General Hua effortlessly blocks them using metal shields. She counters by hurling the blades back at him, slamming him into a wall and reducing him to dust. Wukong sees Ozzy mortally wounded and tries to comfort her, but she tells him not to grieve, only wishing they had more time together. They share a final kiss before Ozzy fades into nothingness. Wukong gently lays her down, takes her crown, and, through tears, binds it to his weapon. Rising, he walks toward the general, determined to avenge everyone she has taken. General Hua surrounds herself with a wall of metal, but Wukong relentlessly strikes it until he overwhelms her defenses. Forced back, she teleports them outside and attacks with countless blades, but Wukong deflects and shatters them with ease. Suddenly, Erlang appears and knocks Wukong aside. Now devoid of emotion, Erlang has abandoned the memories of his friends. The two charge at each other, clashing in a furious battle. Erlang gains the upper hand, driving Wukong back before summoning a massive ice weapon that sends him crashing into the mountains. Wukong retaliates with his staff, but Erlang intercepts it, breaking it piece by piece before stabbing him through the stomach. Casting aside their weapons, the two continue fighting with their bare fists, their clash triggering a massive explosion that engulfs the battlefield. As the dust settles, General Hua approaches Erlang but senses something has changed. Erlang begins to recall his memories after striking Wukong, feeling Ozzy's presence within him. Overcome with grief, he refuses to abandon those memories or remain a puppet under the general's control. Realizing his betrayal, General Hua transforms into a colossal titan, manipulating the surrounding metal to form her new body. Wukong rises once more, summoning flames that reshape his weapon. He launches the staff toward the giant and leaps onto it as it expands midair. At the same time, Erlang races across floating debris, closing in on the Titan. Erlang leaps toward the giant's core, preparing his final strike, while Wukong swings his massive staff upward. Erlang punches through the Titan's center as Wukong delivers a devastating blow to its head. The staff cleaves the general in half, destroying her form and reducing her to dust. With the general defeated and the machine of destiny destroyed, the two land back within the ruined structure. Erlang tells Wukong that Oxy saved him this time, but warns that their next meeting will end in a battle to the death. Wukong accepts without hesitation, and the two part ways. Erlang will become the new general of the Celestial Army, while Wukong will gather those who refuse to accept their fate and wage a war against the deities that will last for centuries. The film ends. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.